Hello everyone, Jak Syn here on behalf of Fiend.com and Future Daze, and today we're sitting with Luis Navarro and Joel Nino of Twin Tribes. How are you guys all doing today?
We're doing good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I can't complain. I'd say, we're doing as best as we can right now, in the situation we're in, but making the most of it.
Yeah, same here, doing as best we can to kind of hustle behind the scenes before hopefully we get back out there one day.
You'll be back out there. You'll be back out there before you know it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So today we're going to ask you guys a few questions and see where it goes from here. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What are three of your favorite moments performing live?
So one right off the top of my head that I can remember is opening for She Passed Away in San Diego. It's a place called the Brick by Brick. And it was our first show with them. And I guess, I don't know, just getting on stage, there was this energy, and getting on stage, I didn't look out into the crowd. But then when I look up, there's all these people, and I just kind of get weak knees, And so that's like a bittersweet moment, because it's kind of like, wow, look, like all these people are here, and this is going to be amazing. And at the same time, I'm just like, okay, I might faint at the same. So a little bittersweet, but that's one of the moments that I remember.
One of my favorite moments was probably Cold Waves this past year. Playing Cold Waves was like just a very unique experience. And when we started the band, we would just see flyers of like a bunch of great bands. And then I remember we were recording Shadows, and we were looking at the lineup for Cold Waves that year, and it was like, one day, right? One day, who knows? And then like we ended up playing Cold Waves too. So that was like a very special moment. The other one that comes to mind are like several, like playing 1720, like a sold out show in LA, or playing when we did Syntheside in New York. When we played that on our last winter tour, it was such a great turnout. So there's just a couple.
Yeah, New York's always special. Red Party. As I'm representing here. But yeah, great moments for us.
I totally agree with, the New York aspect. I mean, that, like being in New York and seeing their scene over there, it's just a really inviting and welcoming community. And especially I know for you guys, I'm sure you guys like really thrived out there.
Yeah, again, New York, we've been to, what, 3 times?
We played Murder of Crows. We played our winter tour. We played Syntheside
and the Red Party for our first time. Mm-hmm. So and every single time has been just a different experience. Very different experience actually, because I mean Brooklyn is very different from the area that Manhattan. Yeah, that Red Party's at. So, but every single time the people have been super sweet to us. Sean and Andy 80s runs Syntheside. It's just great people.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, and looking forward to when you guys can get back out there again. We can see you guys, you know what I mean? What would you say is your favorite album/EP that you've worked on?
I think that I liked working more on our most recent album, Ceremony. We already had an idea of what we wanted to sound like, and it was just a quicker process. It was easier than when we recorded our first album. What do you think?
It's kind of like choosing between two of your children, I think that they're each special in their own way. I guess, at least for the Ceremony, I'm going to go with Shadows, just because it was something that there was no expectations to it. It was really just us kind of starting, doing something that we really wanted to do. It's just a virgin album, you know what I mean? Like there's no expectations. It's just free. Let's try stuff. Let's try different sounds. And we're in the recording studio for 3 hours listening to drum beats. It's just a different experience. And since it was our first, I think that's probably why it's more special for me.
And isn't that great? Like your first one, it's like you're really experimenting. You're finding that direction you want to go, getting that sound just right, just perfect enough. Something that you feel pride in, and then showing it to the world.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It was very special. It was just like Joel said, there's no expectations, and like we really didn't have anything other than let's record an EP and then let's put it to tape, and then the EP turned into an album, and then all of a sudden it's on vinyl, and then it's on CD, and then like we're working with labels, and it's like we didn't have any of that in mind. So we just focused really hard on, like how you said, finding our sound, and then like it was just really well received. It was kind of shocking at first.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of them are really cool experiences for sure.
Yeah, and it just kind of, I know from what I've seen from you guys from when we first performed together back in Salt Lake City, what was that, about like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great. And I was like, these guys are amazing. Like, more people need to hear them, you know, and here you are. Here we are in 2020, 3 years later, and you guys are everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great.
Truly special. And that was our first tour too.
Yeah.
Right? That was our first tour. That was our first time in Salt Lake City as well.
What was the drive behind getting you guys into making music and performing?
I think for me, it started at a very early age. I mean, I don't think I really knew until I was in middle school, really. But as a kid, I would go through my sister's cassettes, and even I'd go to my neighbor's house, and we'd be like in his brother's car, like listening to CDs. And so, you know, since an early age, I was super just listening to music and into it. Recording on those cassettes, like radio stations and stuff like that. And but really actually playing the music in middle school is when I actually I joined the band, and really the love of music started to pretty much wrap around my entire life, really. So I think that's probably where that fire started. You know, they threw well, I was in like regular band and I played the tuba. And so then the band director for the jazz band said, well, you're pretty good at the tuba. Here's a book to learn the bass guitar. Basically the same notes, just use your fingers. And so that's how I started learning bass guitar and kind of went from there.
It's crazy how you ever rethink to that gap.
I know.
To me, it's actually very similar. At a very young age, I was just exposed to music. I had my father was like a huge Kiss fan. He was super into like classic rock, and my uncles were really into like 80s glam. And so when I was very small, like I was exposed to all these bands. And then in middle school, I was like, okay, I want to learn how to play the guitar. My dad got me started, and then I had just a bunch of teachers like uncles and friends, and I would just try to learn from everybody. I joined Estudiantina in high school, and then like I just started playing in bands since I was like 15, and then we played in a band for a while, like an indie band, and then yeah, we've just been playing together, random projects until like once Twin Tribe started. It's like the demos were created. I showed them to Joel, and then it's like we knew that they were really special and that we can make them sound better. And then once we kind of started the band, now it's been like really serious. Now it's like, okay, so now the next albums that are coming out, you know, they have to be like a certain standard, and they have to be like just perfect now, right? we want to make sure that everything that goes well. But that's kind of how I started with music.
I can totally mesh with that. You know, I know like what you were saying earlier about the tuba, right? It was the tuba, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, same thing. Like when I was younger, it was trumpet for me. You know what I mean? And then high school, it was like band. So it kind of went that way as well. So I totally understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
So the two of you guys working together, like how is the writing process between the both of you?
It changes. It all depends. Like we have some songs where we've created through like just a jam where we're just together. We put a drum machine, we put a beat, play, and then we're just jamming out, and then a song is born, kind of like how Heart and Feather came to be, just like that. And then there's sometimes where we just have an idea and we're not together, and I record it, I send it to him, we email back and forth like a bunch of ideas until like, okay, so let's try this, no, try that. And so sometimes we don't even have to be together to try out different ideas. he'll send me a melody, or he'll send me like a bass line, like go ahead and try this or put that in. And that's kind of like how we wrote both of the albums.
Yeah.
We just went back and forth, and then at the studio we just kind of like polish everything and add things here and there. But it goes pretty smoothly. Once we figured out what worked for us for Shadows, we wrote that album super fast. And then when we were writing for Ceremony, it took a while. It was kind of like a bunch of just ideas that we had recorded, and we just had them like in a folder. And then when it was time to get close to the studio and time to write, we just revisited that folder, and we had just riffs that were recorded since a year ago. So it's like, oh fuck. Yeah.
That sounds pretty good. Yeah. No, yeah, exactly how Luis put it. You know, the way I see it, it's kind of like a block of ice, and we're just kind of whittling away at it, right? Like an ice sculpture, and I'll send it back to him. He'll send it back this way. I think for the most part, that's the way we work. It's very rare that we'll do the whole jam thing. Maybe, yeah, like you said, Heart and Feather came out pretty well though, so can't complain about that style of writing. But I think we've found that comfortable spot. You know, sending him something, and he'll send me stuff. Like I know like specifically on car rides, like just listening to riffs that Luis would send me, and you know, kind of like coming up with stuff, and then sometimes I'll just sing it, like, oh, like try this bass line, and so I'll send it to him, and he'll like put it, you know, electronically into the studio that we're using. Yeah, it's really great working with him. There's like, I think what sets this this band aside from other bands that I've been in before is that there's really not there's not pride involved. It's kind of like, you know, if I come up with something and he's like, you know, I don't like it, it's like, all right, let's try something else, you know. Or if there's a song, it's like, dude, you know, like I don't like it, and if one of us doesn't like it, then we're not gonna do that. Like for Shadows, we had how many songs that, like, there was some that, yeah, we kind of just, okay, let's just throw them away, right? We're not gonna use those because one of us doesn't like it. So that's like one of the coolest parts, I think, of writing with Luis.
I know a lot of artists out there, like, who are in bands. Like that process is, you know, sometimes people work really well when they're working in the same room together, but then when they're like far apart, it's like, how are you going to do this, and how am I going to do this, you know? But like, you guys seem like you guys have a good medium there, which is sometimes hard to find. You know what I mean? What are you guys looking forward to accomplishing the most as you move forward?
I think what we would like is to continue touring, probably play more cities that we haven't played, having the music just reach people that haven't heard the music at all. Continue to write, continue the band, continue to grow, continue to learn, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah, being, well, with the situation right now, it's just, we're kind of like, we're pent up, right? We really try to play as much as we can, and we've done that since we started. You know, we try to tour as much as we can, try to play as many shows as we can, fly out for dates, and since we haven't been doing that, we've been trying to find other things, other avenues of keeping busy and kind of moving forward. So we're working on different projects aside from our own, right? Which hopefully we get to announce a few things pretty soon. Yeah, playing live is just really all I look forward to in the future, because we just came out with these 2 albums, and we've done a couple of live chats. We'll do live streams every so often here on Instagram and Facebook. And every time we've had that chat with the audience, there's always somebody who's like, when's the next album coming out? And it's kind of like, we just released 2 albums in 2 years, right? 2 albums in 2 years. So we might take it a little easy, right? But you never know. You never know. Again, we don't know when all of this is going to be over. So maybe that's just what we'll do, is write another album.
And those fans are hungry for it. They're ravenous for it. They want it. They're like, I need it. But right now, I know it's a little difficult right now, considering, like we were talking about earlier, the situation that we're in, you know. But it's good that you guys are finding that other medium, like online, like being able to like do, like, you know, if you're doing performances or like Q&As and things like that, or talking with your fans out there. I know right now, like a lot of people need that. They need that connection to the artists that they love and admire. So. But I'm looking forward to some new music from you guys soon too. So, but
Yeah.
I understand you have a creative process you have to go through until you can get to that release. So, whenever you're ready, you're ready.
Got it.
Thank you.
And yeah, and I am looking forward to seeing you guys again live soon. Because I know, like, once everything gets back to, I guess, pre-COVID-19, the pre-COVID-19 world, I'm sure, you know, I know that once that happens, people are going to be wanting to go to every show they can go to, travel every place they can travel, and buy everything that they can buy. You know what I mean? What positive message would you give your fans out there?
You know, positive message, I would just say it's going to get better. Okay. I know it's these are really drastic times, dark times that we're kind of, you know, quarantined, and it's affecting some more than others. But you know, just stay safe, be careful, and shout out to all the first responders out there, and like the essential employees that are kind of keeping things going as well, and in the hospitals and grocery stores, and even some restaurants, I think, that still, you know, give or make the food and stuff. But you know, just again, it's going to get better. Like it can only get better, right? And hopefully we find a way to get everything maybe not back to the way it used to be, because I feel like everybody's going to start taking more precautions as far as, you know, hygiene goes and all that good stuff. But at least as close as to the normal that we used to have.
And on top of that, just a huge thank you to all of our supporters that have stuck with us. And it's really nice when you have supporters that have seen you just grow as a band from the beginning until now. Then there's a lot of new supporters that just found out who we are like a week ago because of like the Gothicat festival. So just a huge thank you to everyone that sends positive messages through Instagram or Facebook, that reaches out to say, hey, thank you for your music, or thank you for your chat, or thank you for doing things like this, because it really helps them out in like times like these where there's really nothing to do. So it's just really nice to have those kind of supporters. And yeah, stay safe, and just thanks in general.
Wise words from Twin Tribes, guys. Thank you so much for sharing those words with us and sharing those words with your fans. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today and taking this time to sit with us and watch this conversation. Big thank you to Twin Tribes for sitting with us today. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you so much.
Everybody out there, if you like these videos, like, subscribe, you know, and stay up to date, because we have more videos coming. Today, we sat with Twin Tribes. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys again soon.